You ever wanna play a Juggernaut of Destruction? Because this is an unkillable tank. And not only on SCS, but on Legacy of Ball, where the enemy HP, taco, saving throws, everything they have is ridiculous and unfair. This character is immune to physical damage, and it can become pretty immune to magical damage with a bit more levels. What I'm showing to you right here is a duel of a shapeshifter into a fighter. And right now I just regained my shapeshifter levels. I have level 15 shapeshifter and just got the fighter to level 16. And I also don't have the best possible items that I could have, which I will show in a second. Once good old Firkraag bit the dust. Give me the money. And now just to talk about this character a little. Yeah, better equipment would be a Ring of Gags here and a Ring +3 here. I will get those pretty soon. Of course, you can have the better gloves here, but in Baldur's Gate 2 you get them pretty late. And you can have 5% more magic resistance on your amulet. You can have a Cloak of Mirroring here. Yeah. Just tanking Firkraag. I could have used harm and made the fight much shorter. Of all these juicy priest spells memorized, I didn't use any of them. Could have summoned 5 Earth Elementals. I've done a lot of things, but I just wanted to show the tanking potential of this class. But yeah, right now it's not at its best. Mostly because of the rings that I don't have. And also of my level, because I will gain better saving throws. Right now my saving throws are dependent on the potion of invulnerability, because Firkraag has a fear aura, as also does Kangax. And of course he keeps dispelling you on SCS, so I had to balance drinking of potions with the healing potions with the saves potions, but that will... the need for these potions will completely go away. So why is this guy immune to physical damage? As most of you probably know, SCS is a mod that improves the AI of enemies. As you saw there with Firkraag, he had a lot of dispels, a lot of stone skins going on. Basically spellcasters, for the most part, get a lot better. Also dragons get extra HP, but the extra HP dragons get from SCS is nothing compared to the extra HP of LoB. LoB is just insane. But yeah, mostly SCS makes the game harder for you. But there's this one component of SCS called improved shapeshifting. I'm using it right now, and instead of the ability to shapeshift, you get these totems which you can equip as weapons. This one here is a high level ability. Used to be called transform into Earth Elemental or something like that. And instead you get this totem. It says you get 50% immunity to physical damage, but you actually get 100% immunity. You could change it in near infinity, but dueled into a fighter as I am, you don't need to do that. And I mean, what I was trying to say, but I'm stupid. If you dueled into a fighter, at some point when you reach 3 million XP, you will be able to take hardiness and you can stack that with armor of face and you would be at 110% resistance, even if this did what it says it does. But obviously, if you're lazy like me and you hate LoB kind of, but still wanna play it, wanna beat it, this is a class for you. So something weird happened to me today. After I finally regained my Shapeshifter levels, these are the quests I did, because those that are white for the most part I didn't. There was a pretty long grind, 3 days grind to get this character to this level, and I originally wanted to start this video by doing the Great Druid challenge in Trade Meat by killing what's her face, Baldur, I think. But then I realized that you lose all your items, and since the totems are items, you lose those as well, and you can't even pick them up with area loot. If you put them next to the pit and try to area loot them, you will not reach them. So I had to beat her the traditional way, which is really easy with this ring here. If you put on improved invisibility and then talk to her, your invisibility in itself will drop because you talk to her, but the part that makes it improved invisibility and makes it impossible for all spellcasters except liches to target you. Liches can still target you on that, but Baldur, or whatever her name is, the druid can't. So she can't send her nasty insect swarm at you, but you can of course send yours at her. So I killed her the traditional way, but I didn't want to record that because it doesn't really show off this specific shapeshifter power. So yeah, instead I said, let's kill Firkraag. I went in a bit of trouble at first because of his fear aura, and then I realized I just have to keep using potions of invul. So of course, once I get the Ring of Gax online, that's +2 saves from the ring. When I get 1 or 2 more fighter levels, I can't quite remember, I will get +1 or 2 saves from that as well. But yeah, I will get to a point where I don't need the potions anymore, where my base saves will be enough. But what I wanted to address here is my Shapeshifter did not turn into a Great Druid. So after I beat Baldur, there was the other guy you have to beat for becoming a Great Druid. I challenged him, I beat him. He's a lot easier than Baldur, by the way, because you keep all your items. And all of a sudden my fighter, which was totally unexpected, I did not see that coming, turned into a Great Druid, because I guess it's my active class now. I would say the game is glitched maybe, and I don't know what effect that will have. Right now my proficiency of course stayed at fighter levels, my base taco stayed at fighter levels, which by the way gets changed. The base taco gets changed by this thing as well. Not only does it give you 25 strength, but it also changes your base taco. So if I was a druid right now, if I did not duel into a fighter, all I would lose from this taco is -2 each. And if you want to kill trolls, the same applies for any kind of weapon you equip instead of the token. You still get this taco. So yeah, if you want to kill trolls, you just switch between these. And one important thing to mention for everybody who maybe wants to play this character as well is that the game bugs out if you have if you have a token in your offhand and you left click anything in the inventory. For me personally, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but I assume it is. If I would left click on anything, my game would crash. So I can right click on stuff, that's fine, that's no problem. But if I want to left click on anything in my inventory, I have to unequip whatever token I have in my offhand. Oh, and by the way, you can also dual wield these things, and they give 40% magic resistance each, and of course 50% to all the elements. So right now that's 85 magic resistance, but if I had the Ring of Gax and the amulet from Underdark, I would be at 100% already. Of course you cannot do that against Firkraag. It would be very useful against his breast because it wouldn't do any damage, but yeah, you still get hit hard by his physical damage. So against physical enemies you have to use this combination here, which is right now only 45% magic resistance and 50 damage resistance to the element and to magic damage. But when you get the Ring of Gax and the amulet, it will be 60%. If you get the Hell Trials, it will be 70%, and if you get the Machine of Loom the Mad bonus, it will be 75%. So that's pretty huge. But for example, against Beholders, you don't need the physical damage resistance, because these things also give you a lot of regen, and of course they stack because both give the same amount. So in this game, only the highest regen applies. So if you have a Ring of Gax, which has lower regen, and one of these equipped, you will only get the regen from this. But if you duel these things, they actually stack and you have 12 HP per 6 seconds, or 2 HP per second. But yeah, even if you have the other totem here, you still have 1 HP per second or 6 per round. Really cool. And yeah, I will show more fights, but for some fights I will need a couple more levels, a bit better equip. But I wanted to make a video. I haven't done YouTube vid in a while. I've been streaming a lot and I'm sorry about that. But I feel like I've been streaming Path of Exile, and I feel like when I upload Path of Exile, most people probably don't want to see that who are subscribed to me on YouTube. So a little bit of Baldur's Gate action here, and of course we're all waiting for Pillars of Eternity 2, which is coming out in April. And until then, I will alternate between streaming Path of Exile and playing this bad boy here. And I will play through all the game and through TOB, and I will keep posting fights like this against Firkraag, who obviously just expired. And yeah, I left a couple of fights open. I left Torgal open, and the Bridge District fight with Lich and Beholder and Vampire and whatnot. And I also plan to kill everybody in Ust-Nazar, the Drow city, and stuff like that. Yeah, all the big fights, I will post all those, show you how this character is going, and also keep you updated what's happening with this great druid here, because yeah, as I said, this is a fighter, so I don't know how that turned into a great druid and how my Shapeshifter, which is actually the druid, stayed unaffected, but we'll see. And yeah, I'll keep you posted, and see you then.